Good evening, everybody. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this particular video of mine. I'm going to be talking about Mayor Rob Ford. He's presently the mayor of the city of Toronto, unfortunately, in my view. This is a man who has a very checkered, I should say, history and bad conduct throughout the course of that history. I'm actually shocked that the people of the city of Toronto could have elected a mayor like this. Uh, I would like to think that probably they weren't aware of his history of bad conduct before they elected him. And that's the only reason or excuse I could think of for them having elected such a man as Rob Ford as their mayor. Um, Let me go through the kinds of things that Rob Ford has done throughout the years, um, which I think disqualifies him for any consideration uh, for a political position. Okay, for instance, in 1987, I believe it was, Rob Ford was charged with assault during a fight at the age of 18. Okay, one can chalk that up as not knowing what he's doing. He's young and, that kind of shit. But anyway, we'll let that one go. 1999, Ford is charged with drunk driving and possession of marijuana while he was in Miami, Florida. The second charge was dropped, but then he's convicted of driving under the influence. He paid a 550, I think it was a $550 fine, and performed 50 hours of community service without returning to the United States. In 2001, he had an altercation with a high school football player at Newton Brook Secondary School in North York. And this led the school board to tell Ford to give up his job as the school's football coach. Well, I would think so at the very least. And then again in 2002, during a city council budget debate in the city of Toronto, Mayor Ford called a fellow councillor, George Mamelotti, who I'm not particularly thrilled with either, but anyway, he called him a Geno boy. And Councillor Mamelotti says the remark was a racial slur and that he had heard it when he was growing up as a young fellow a lot. He said that hearing it at City Hall shocked him, and like many other things initially, Mr. Ford denied making that particular comment. But he's good at denials that aren't actually true. In 2005, I believe it was, during a council debate over a pothole, Mr. Ford breaks down into a tirade and he insulted fellow councillor Gloria Lindsay Luby, calling her a joke. She's a waste of time and she was a waste of skin. Interesting talk for a city councillor. In 2006, a Durham region couple filed a complaint with the city after they claimed that Ford ruined an evening watching the Leafs play at the ACC. Apparently, among other things, he shouted at them, "Who the fuck do you think you are? Are you a fucking teacher?" Ford denies even being there, but the next day he finally admitted he was and apologized. Quite the guy, this fellow. In 2006, I believe it was 2006, Rob Ford makes a public statement marginalizing gays and relating all HIV positive individuals to injection drug users. He stated, "If you are not doing needles and you are not gay, you wouldn't get AIDS, probably." That was his comment. In 2008, a videotape surfaced that showed Rob Ford becoming aggressive and chasing an individual down a flight of stairs, repeatedly muttering to the fellow that he was chasing, "You fat fuck." Like I just have to be a little nasty here. He has a lot of room to talk on that one, doesn't he? Okay, in 2008, Ford is charged by Toronto police with assault and uttering a death threat to his own wife, Renata, and the charges are withdrawn because of inconsistencies and allegations made by his wife. In another incident in 2008, Ford refuses to apologize for insulting the Asian community with these remarks. Those Oriental people work like dogs. They sleep beside their machines. The Oriental people, they're slowly taking over. This guy is something else, I must say. Um, then he denied he was charged with possession of marijuana in Florida in '99. The next day he admits he was and says he forgot about it because he was also charged with a drinking offense. I mean, and the list goes on and on. You know, people, this guy is unfit to be the mayor of the great city of Toronto. Fit he is to be a city councillor. And as I said before, he's rude, he's obnoxious, he's ignorant, nasty, and mean spirited. I have to repeat that because it obviously needs repeating to some people. This guy should never have been allowed into electoral politics or anything to do with people. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve their trust and their faith and the hope that people try to put in politicians. And I know that's very difficult to do these days. But anyway, I just had to make this little rant because you know what? I'm sick of watching and hearing about this fellow. He shouldn't be where he is, and I hope that come the next municipal election in the city of Toronto, that the good people of Toronto have the foresight to get rid of this man for once and for all. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to listen to me speaking about Rob Ford. I guess you can tell I'm not enthralled with the man. Oh, by the way, he is a buddy of Stephen Harper's. Although I have to give Stephen Harper a little credit, I'm quite convinced he would never behave like this. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Ciao.